You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on AETi Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. Coffee with Graeme is, of course, brought to you by Fabricland Winkler and Evolve Green. Happy to finally be back on a Tuesday morning. Well, this is being pre-recorded on Monday night, but finally happy to be giving you guys an episode on Tuesday morning. I know that we've had some cancellations of our Tuesday shows throughout the past 2 months or so. I know that last week we ended up doing the show in the evening, but on this Tuesday, we're finally back here on this Monday morning, wherever you guys are today, whether you're at work, maybe you're doing some summer schooling, maybe, you're just at home chilling out, wherever you guys are. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Tuesday morning for tuning into this edition of Coffee with Graeme. It's going to be a lot of fun. Today, I'm going to be joined by a player from the MMJHL. He's a 2000 born player. He's a forward. His name is Dorian Wasacase from the St. Vital Victorias in the and Dorian, of course, in his last season, going into next year, we're going to talk about what the feeling is like heading into his final season of playing junior hockey in his lifetime. We're also going to talk about the first 2 seasons he's had a chance to play with the St. Vital Victorias. We're also going to dive into his high school hockey career, as well as he spent his time playing for the Glenlawn Collegiate Lions, the Glenlawn Collegiate Lions in the Winnipeg High School Hockey League. So without further ado, let's run the intro and bring in the man of the hour, number 15, Dorian Wasacase, on this edition of Coffee with Graeme on AETi Productions. Joining me now on the show is Dorian Wasacase. Dorian, I know that you're just hearing from my buddy Michael, who ended up giving me your contact information to set up this interview, that you were fired up to talk some hockey on this show. It's great to have you on here tonight, man. How have you been doing? How have you been keeping yourself busy during, I guess, the last year and a bit with COVID-19 and all that stuff, just the stuff that's been going on with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been doing really well. There wasn't much to do during the winter with everything locked down and season getting canceled. But luckily, work started up in the spring again, and just been working out, doing whatever I can to keep busy.
Yeah, that's great. Just doing whatever you can, right? Like everyone else. Yeah. And, just looking at the numbers, looking at the cases that we've had in the past month or so, it's looking up and looking like we're going to have a full season of hockey and sports in general coming up this year, which is just so exciting. Terrific news. But yeah, man, you've played 2 seasons of junior hockey, one, I guess, fullish season, we'll call it, because you played 39 games in that first year, but you had a chance to play in 5 games this year. Just getting that season stripped away from you this year with the type of improvement I feel like on the stat sheet that you were showing, for sure is tough for you. But just what was that whole process like for you after the type of production you were putting up so early on in your year this year to have that season canceled?
Well, I mean, I think it was just a lot of motivation going into next season, or the season after. My first year, we were a solid team. We were, top of the boards for pretty well most of the season, top 3, and we were looking to make a run at the cup, and obviously we weren't given that opportunity to do that. So I guess the year after is a lot of motivation, a lot of, that unfinished business mentality that every time, we stepped on the ice, we wanted to get it done. We had one goal, and that's kind of what kept me motivated.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you're going to have that same type of motivation going into next season. We'll talk about next season coming up here in this episode today. But yeah, just talking about that first year that you had a chance to play on this team, just with the type of talent that this team had. You guys ended up going 29-10-6, finishing second in the league, 188 goals for, second in the league, 129 goals against, which was second least given up in the league, 22.5% on the power play, which was second, and then we'll guess it again, it's second in penalty kill as well at 86%. Just to be on a team like this in your first season with the type of coaching that you guys had as well, and just the overall cast that you guys had, how huge was that for you to be able to play with this type of talent in that first year that you had?
It was everything. It's a big jump going from high school to the junior level, because you're playing with guys, older, better, faster, stronger than you guys. So to be able to play with the guys that we did, I mean, you look at our roster, you look at where guys, you used to play. It's is I would call it a star-studded team, and I couldn't have asked for better players to play with, better coaching staff, and just overall better organization to help me make the jump to the next level.
Yeah, and you guys got a terrific young talent too that is going to be coming into their own this year, like a guy like Serge Simard, who is going to be absolutely exciting to watch if people are able to get out to games. Tyler Rubini, Robin Netchwooduk might end up getting a shot next year and proving what he can do. Lots of upside for this team going into next season with just the returning guys that you guys got as well. But just for you, your role going into the first season that you had, I guess, let's not get into the role right away, but just coming into camp, what was that like for you? Just making that transition into potentially making this team in your first season last year.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's all knowing your role, right? So you're coming out of your last year of high school, and you're playing against guys, 20, 21 years old, and 18. Some guys are 17. You're obviously not going to be the go-to guy anymore that you might have been in high school. So it's a different mindset change. For me, it was kind of accepting that, and doing the things that those guys that we have on our team to go and do. For me, it was do all the little things, do whatever I could to, impress the coaches, impress the teammates, just earn my spot kind of thing.
Yeah, and it definitely paid off this year with you putting up the 3 points you did in those 5 games. In your first year, you ended up playing 39 games, 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. Just for you being more of that depth guy, like you said, not that guy that was relied upon to do the big things, but to do more of those little things. Just how did you truly feel that you fit into that type of role where you were asked to do, I guess, little than before, in your season in high school, your career in high school, just getting put into that role for yourself?
It's the do everything to win mentality, right? So, I wanted, like I said, is everything was to win that championship. And you need depth guys. You need guys that are willing to do the little things, go into the corners, block all those shots, right? You need successful teams have guys like that, and every team needs guys like that. And I'm willing to do anything for my team, right? So I was more than accepting of that role.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Like you said, every great team needs those depth guys, those role guys, and it's great that you were able to fill that role. But just moving into the preseason, just getting that first taste of real junior hockey action for the first time, even though it was preseason. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was a lot different from high school, right? Because like I mentioned earlier, everyone's faster, stronger, bigger, right? So it was a lot more physical, and there was a lot more playing with speed. And I mean, for a guy like myself, speed I would say is my biggest asset. So I really loved the game the game of junior hockey from the moment I stepped on the ice, I guess. It kind of fit my playing style. But yeah, it's definitely a different transition playing from high school and then making that jump to junior and playing with older guys that are, stronger, faster, and just better than you are at the time, right? So
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure for you, just getting that news that you earned a spot on the team must have been just a great moment for you. Describe that moment when you found out that you earned a spot on the St. Vital Victoria's team.
well, I mean, it was kind of just a single night of joy, right? Because in this league, there's different roster trims and there's also a trade deadline, right? So you earn your spot, but it's not given and it's not guaranteed. So it's every practice, every game. I kind of had that mindset of re-earning my spot, making sure go out in there, work hard, do all the things that make me a good player, and like I said, just keep earning my spot night in, night out.
Yeah, and you spoke about it, how having a chip on your shoulder going into this season to get better and improve. You had that. You're gonna have it going into next season, and like you said, like the things like being able to stay in the roster consistently on a night in night out basis really motivated you. Just talk about that mindset, just of having that self motivation, being able to do that. Has that always been something that's kind of driven you to the point where you're at now as a hockey player?
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, it's you can't take any days off, especially at the level and the game speed we are playing at. You take one night off, and there's always someone behind you waiting to take your spot, waiting to make an impact in the lineup. So you always got to be sharp, ready to come play your game, and that's just something that I've learned growing up throughout the years, and yeah.
Well, we're going to dive into just what that regular season was like for you in that first year with the St. Vital Vics. Coming up after this commercial break, I've been joined by number 15 of the St. Vital Victorias in the MMJHL, Dorian Wasacase, on this edition of Coffee with Graeme. Stick around with me and Dorian for more of Coffee with Graeme after this commercial break. Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I've been joined by Dorian Wasacase on this edition of the show. We've been talking about just his time with the St. Vital Vics in his first season, just going into camp, just the role he played. We also talked about just kind of, the going into next season, just the excitement that he has, and some other stuff too. But we're going to continue talking about his 2019-2020 season. And, we talked about the preseason going into that, making the team for you. Once you guys hit regular season that year, just what was the feel of the league like then when all the teams had their final rosters in place at the time, going up against the best competition in the league?
Well, the first couple of games, a little bit of nerves, as you might expect. But it's the sport I've been playing my whole life, right? So it's something I love doing, and it was just finding a way to cool off those nerves. And yeah, I mean, I was the confidence I had in our team right from the get go. I wasn't really nervous about that, but just the overall game. Everyone better, faster, stronger, and stuff like that.
Speak about what that feeling was like, putting on a St. Vital Victoria's jersey for the first time in the regular season, playing your first ever regular season game, just the excitement you had the night before leading up to it.
Well, there's a lot of butterflies, right? It's also that excitement of knowing, hard work pays off, right? So I'm here for a reason. I'm wanted here. I want to be here, right? So you throw that jersey on, and it's that flicking on that switch of, okay, it's time to work, time to do anything I can out here.
Talk about just that work you did put in the off season to get to the point where you were at to make that team in 2019, 2020, just the things you were doing leading up to the season in your first year.
Right. So there was a lot of weight room stuff. I was preparing for my role, right? So I was kind of focusing away from my skill set abilities and more of like what's going to make me successful at my role, right? So I wanted to get a little bit faster, and I wanted to get stronger on the puck, and I wanted to improve all my stability and stuff like that. Because I knew they were all going to be, everyone out there is older, stronger, so I needed to find a way to up that aspect of my game just to try and compete with them.
Just talking about the type of player you are. You've talked about how you're that type of player that does the little things very well, but just talk about just the type of player you describe yourself as. Maybe more of that gritty, physical player, maybe more of that power forward. Just what type of player is Dorian Wasacase?
I like to consider myself a kind of a speedy two-way forward who can play, is capable of playing both ends of the ice, but I take tremendous pride in taking care of our D zone before offense. I'm not sure I'm sure lots of Jets fans will remember Brandon Tanev a couple years ago. I kind of try to compare myself to him a little bit. But yeah, that's who I probably consider myself as a player.
That's great. And yeah, Brandon Tanev, brings that energy to that team. Can you, or to a team that he plays on, right? Could you just speak about the type of energy that you'll bring to a team, just the team and the team culture in general?
Yeah, well, if we're talking about on the ice stuff, right?
On the ice. Yeah, on the ice.
On the ice, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
I think everybody, a lot of people who aren't on the bench don't notice the little things, but the guys on the bench do, right? And a big block late in the game, trying to kill a penalty or something. You take one in the knee or in the chest or something for your goalie to help prevent a goal go in. I fires up the boys a lot, and so that's something I love doing is blocking shots for my goalie night in, night out.
Yeah, that's great. Just sacrificing that bod for the betterment of your team, and like you said, like those depth players, those role players are what teams are going to need to be able to have a chance to win a championship. And yeah, it's great that you've been able to do that stuff and show that type of impact off the score sheet just throughout your career with St. Vital so far. But just talk about yourself off the ice, in the dressing room, just what you bring to a team's locker room, a team's culture.
Yeah, well, I consider myself very easygoing, but also, I like holding guys accountable. I'm I'm not as much as vocal, more as a lead by example kind of guy. I like to let other guys know, like, I'll tell some guys before games, I'll give you $5 if you work harder than me today, right? Just to kind of get them going a little bit, right? Yeah, I just, those little things, those kind of things that,
yeah,
it's hard to explain a little bit. I'm trying to find the words a little bit here.
Yeah, a bit of showmanship out there.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Just offering a cash prize if someone can outwork you, Dorian, which I feel like you're pretty confident that not many people on the team can outwork you, which is works out for you in the end. You probably get the money back, which is great.
Yeah, well,
yeah. So just moving into the players you had a chance to play with in that first year, just on a team like this, what type of, like, who were the guys you had a chance to play with in that first year on the line?
Well, the obviously the first guy you're gonna look at is our captain, Ben Coppinger. Tremendous player, better leader. you look at where he's played in the past, and you can learn a lot from someone like that. And he's definitely done that. And then you look at guys like Cedric Chenier, same thing. You look at where he's played, kind of learn from him, soak up all the information, get from those guys. And you have guys like Jesse Gibbons and Tyson Lash, guys who've been playing at the junior level for quite a couple years, and being very productive at the junior level. So as a rookie, kind of look at those guys and you kind of learn from them, and you take up as much information as you can. And they've been tremendous as terms of my development, making the jump into the league.
How excited are you knowing that you're going to have Ben back for one final season along with you and the boys next year?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, is we still have our core of 2000s together coming back, and there's quite a lot of us on the team. So it's nice playing with them for a couple years previous now, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Moving back into 2019, 2020, you've spoken so much about just how the guys were stronger, bigger, and faster, right? Just as the season went along, or I guess how long did it take for you, in your opinion, to truly get adjusted to the bigger game, the stronger and faster game?
I don't think I can really put a specific, moment or time or when I did. I feel like, every day you come to the rink, you learn something new, right? Um, Something new about a team, something new about about the playing style, something new about the league. You're always learning each and every day. So um, I don't really think, even to this day, I don't think I've still fully adjusted to the league, and I'm always looking for, some things I can improve on to help me excel at the level I'm at right now.
Moving into that, I guess the coaching staff that you guys had, you played for Coach of the Year in your first year and still playing for him, and Jeff Mitchell. Just speak about the coaching staff that this team has, just the staff that you've had a chance to play for the past 2 years.
Well, I mean, I can't say enough good things about those guys. They've been tremendous with all of us, especially about the younger guys. I remember when Jeff won Coach of the Year, he called it the Staff of the Year, and I couldn't agree more with that. It goes from went from Jeff to Paul to Lee to Charlie, and then to Jill to Perry. It's just a well-run organization, and I couldn't say enough good things about it. And I love playing for them every night.
Yeah, and just like you love playing for this team, everyone on this team seems to, from who I've talked to, I've only talked to one other player in Rylan, Netraduk, but just for him to be a young guy and say the things that he said about this team, to hear you saying what you said about what you've said about this team, just knowing the coaching staff really doesn't put any, take any credit for themselves, like Jeff, calling it the Staff of the Year award. Do you think that those are the things that make this team so successful, is there's no real individuals on this team, everyone's bought in?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that they preached when during my first year, is every night we got to buy into what the coaching staff is putting out for us, and buying into each other. We're a pretty cohesive group, and yeah.
Talking about you this year, you talked about how you were focusing on the things that you were good at, like your speed, your strength, stuff like that, in your off season heading into your first year. Can you speak about, was the off season for you a bit different heading into this season, or was it kind of the same stuff that you were working on heading in?
It was more the same stuff. I think mentally I grew. I kind of knew what to expect, so I can kind of change my game that way. But in terms of like preparing for the season, it was more the same stuff.
You've said that you still feel like you're not fully adjusted to the league, but obviously having a year under your belt coming into this year definitely helped you in a lot of ways. Could you just speak about your game this year compared to last year, just the things that you saw improvement in?
My confidence for sure. I knew that I could play at this level. I knew I could play in the league, and I knew I could be an everyday guy. So that was the biggest thing for me from coming into this year, was just being more confident out there, being more confident with the puck, making smarter plays, better plays, all those things, right? It's just stuff like that.
Yeah. And, it's going to be huge to see what type of confidence you're going to be having heading into your final year, which I feel like you're going to have loads of confidence now, knowing that, you are that last age group on the team now, right? The oldest age group as a 2000. Just with you having the experience of being a captain before with the Glenlawn Lions and your high school career, just knowing that you're going to be that, in that oldest age group this year, just how huge do you feel like your leadership abilities are going to be to for you to bring to this team this year?
Yeah, well, that's one thing about this team we have right now, right? We're extremely young, talented, and we have a lot of um, young guns ready to play, and I'm sure we're gonna have lots more coming in to help contribute more ways than one this upcoming season. And it's just being that leader that I had coming into my career, right? It's just trying to uh, give all the information I can have, give all the experience, give them the experience, like give them the experience that I didn't have. Um, and it's just bringing them into being the best player they can be and the best player that to be, or not the best player the team
Yeah.
can have. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, love that for sure. No doubt about it. You guys next year are losing some, key guys like Couch, Gibbons,
Yeah.
Stockle, some other guys too. But you guys are still gonna have about 18 players returning at this point, with the chance to add the type of talent that is in the St. Vital area too. Should be looking like a pretty solid team heading into next year. Just how truly excited are you to get it rolling at this point, to see what type of team you guys can field in your last season of playing in the MM?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just itching to get back out there, right? We've been off for quite a while. Haven't been able to get on the ice, so I'm just watching the clock, watching the calendar, waiting for the season to come. And you've seen with the type of teams Jeff and the coaching staff have put together the last couple of years, and I have nothing but confidence that we're going to put out another skilled, competitive team come this fall.
Only goal heading into next year, the championship.
Yeah. Anything less would be a failure.
Yeah. All in or nothing at all. Should be
Yeah.
pretty fun to see. Should be pretty fun to see. Gonna be a great season next year, man. Can't wait to see what happens. But we're going to take one more commercial break in this episode, or the final commercial break, with Dorian here joining us, as we'll probably take one more as we say our goodbyes to him later on in the show. But we're going to come back and not talk about his junior hockey career, but talk about his high school career a bit here on this edition of Coffee with Graeme. I've been joined by Dorian Wasacase on this edition of the show. I'll be right back with Dorian after these commercial breaks. Stick with us.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I've been joined by Dorian Wasacase of the St. Vital Victorias in the MMJHL 2000 born forward, going into his last season, the final dance, I guess we could call it the last dance. Yeah, that's the word. The last dance next season for him and the 2000s on the St. Vital Vics. And yeah, should be exciting to see how this team does next year after the success they had in 2019-2020 with the players coming back from that team and just the new talent that they're going to be adding too. To fill those roster spots. But we're going to move away from junior. We're going to be talking about your high school career now. Playing for Glenlawn, you put up 24 points in 24 games played in your final season. When exactly did you start playing high school? Was it in your grade 10 season?
Grade 10, yeah.
Grade 10 season. So you had a chance to play 3 years for that team.
3 years, yeah.
Awesome. So how was that 3-year experience for you, just getting to play for your high school team in the Glenlawn Lions?
A lot of fun. A lot of guys on the team. We went to school with my whole life, so it was a team full of good buddies, best friends, and just a lot of fun.
How awesome truly was that experience of just getting to play with your best buds, guys that, like you said, you've been going to school for almost your whole life with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you hang out almost all the time outside of school, so why not do something you all love together during school? So couldn't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, and just going back to that grade 10 season for you, just what type of team did you guys have in terms of just the skill level on that team?
That seems like such a long time ago. I gotta remember here. Yeah, that year we have a lot of guys that are playing in the MM now. A lot of notable guys playing now, or used to as well, I guess, because we had older guys. Yeah, grade 10 year. Yeah, it was a lot of skill and just depth guys, skill character guys. Again, that's the way I can describe it.
Yeah, and it is a while back. I wasn't even able to really find stats on it. Probably was able to, but just looked on Elite Prospects and found your stats for your last season. But just what was that like at the time, if you can remember, of just making that jump to playing in the Winnipeg High School Hockey League?
It was something I always wanted to do. I had a couple age groups, or I have a late birthday, so I'm a late 2000. I have friends that have always played a grade above me. I heard nothing but good things about playing high school hockey. So it was just when we heard Glenlawn was getting a team, it was just something I always wanted to do when I got to that point.
Yeah. And just speaking about, at the time, like you had a chance to experience it, obviously, in a different type of situation, going against older players in the MM, but going against guys that were in grade 11, grade 12 in high school. Just what was that like at the time for you, just going up against that older competition when you were at that very young age of, I don't know, 15 or 16?
Yeah. Well, it was, I wouldn't say it was as drastic as I would say playing in the MM would be. But it still is a different game because they're still older. They still probably have more experience than you do playing at that level. But yeah, if we're comparing it to the MM, I would say it was less physical, less faster. I would say, but I'd say the skill level was quite a bit different.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, not that same physicality, the same speed out there, right? But definitely a lot of highly skilled players that have come out of the Winnipeg High School Hockey League. Just talking about you throughout your years of just building up to the year you had in 2018-19, how those experiences that you had in the league, your 2 years, under your belt heading into your final season, just how did those experiences help you become the player you were in your final season, where you're putting up 18 goals, 6 assists in 24 games in the regular season?
I think I have a lot to thank the coaching staff there for that. They really let me be me, I guess. I think them allowing me to do that really helped me grow as a player, but not only as a player, as a leader as well. Because I would say in grade 10 and 11, didn't really find my game. Or yeah, I would say in grade 11, I started to find my game and like the type of player who I truly was. And I think grade 12 was the year where I fully embraced that. And that's translated from that year and then making the jump from there into junior.
Talking about just the different situations that the coaches at Glenlawn put you in, were you playing on some special teams or anything like that?
Yeah, I was kind of all over the map. I was the shutdown guy, and then I was also playing special teams, power play, both power play, penalty kill. Kind of doing it all is the best I can explain.
Yeah.
The best way I can put it, I guess. And then again, it's more of the same thing. Just do whatever I can to help the team win, I guess.
Just being able to be put in so many situations, like you said, being that put as that shutdown guy, the other stuff that you talked about, just how would you say that really helped build your confidence at that point, knowing that you could have so much trust put on you?
It definitely helps the confidence, but also it puts a lot of pressure on you, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you always have to know that, especially in grade 12, being the captain, I guess, being the leader, you can't slip up, right? So it's bringing it every day, for the younger guys especially, and for everybody else. It's just everyone's kind of putting their trust into you to lead them. So you can't slip up, I guess. So there's a lot of pressure that goes into it, but also helps the confidence a lot.
Right. And just talking about one of, I guess, those pressured situations, getting that C. I'm not sure if you felt a lot of pressure getting named to have that letter, but just the honor of having that letter, getting that given to you, just what was that like for you receiving that in your grade 12 year?
I got it in grade 11. So when I
Grade 11.
played
Yeah.
grade 11, yeah. So from grade 10, it was more of make the team. And then grade 11, I guess there were kind of rumblings going around that I might get it, but I didn't really expect it. Grade 11s don't really wear C. So I was saying, no, there's in my head, like, there's better guys for this than me. Guys that have been playing a year longer than I have, that were, I think were perfectly better suited for the job at the time. But I was extremely grateful, and I was couldn't be more proud of myself, and it was an extreme honor to wear that. And then wearing it again in grade 12, I guess it was more of a grooming year for me. I guess it was my final dance that year, and it's time to hand it over to somebody else. So it was more teaching the guys the ways of the league once I'm gone. So yeah, it helped my game being a leader, and it's those leadership skills are what I'm going to bring to this last year with me here in junior as well.
Back then when you had a chance to, really be a mentor for the boys on the team, for the younger players, not only in your grade 11 year, but I guess more mainly your grade 12 year, just having that, I guess, responsibility put on you at an early age when you're in high school still, just how did that help you mature as a person, just getting the types of responsibilities that were put on you in high school playing hockey?
I think it's helped me a lot outside of hockey, especially as a person, because you learn those responsibilities, and then you can use those skills outside of hockey as well, like with work and just everyday life and stuff like that. So I think having those responsibilities at a young age put on me, I think it's helped me grow and better myself as a person, not just a better hockey player as well.
Talking about that final season, the production you put up, obviously everything was coming together in your game, but would you say that it was like the things that have made you successful in junior really helped you be successful in your final year of high school, just using that speed and having that good two-way game?
Absolutely, 100%. I think anytime I can utilize my speed, I like to think I can, make anything happen. That's obviously not the case every time I touch the puck, but at least I like to think I can. Um, Speed's my biggest asset of my game, I guess, and even at the high school level, and then at the junior level, it's quite evident that I rely on that tool of mine a lot, and it's what makes me effective.
Speak about that final playoff run that you had, having a chance to play 5 games, putting up 3 goals, 2 assists, for 5 points. What was that like? Just knowing that it was your final chance to potentially win a championship, just going out in that final playoff run, that the things that you were able to do.
Yeah, well, it didn't end the way we had hoped. It ended a little early, but I think again that was a lot of with my close friends. So even though we lost, it was still a lot of fun. But I wasn't really too upset because I knew I was in talks with the Vicks already, so I knew I was going to do everything I can to make this next team. So I knew I'd have a couple more years to put a ring on my finger. Um, but yeah, for talking high school, that was one of the most fun, if not the most fun years I've ever playing hockey. Was that final year, grade 12.
Talk about just the support that the school gives the team in terms of just the fans coming out to games, just the support around the school as well for the team. Just talk about those memories of just seeing fans out at the game and just enjoying watching some Glenlawn Lions hockey.
Yeah, it's what made it fun were the teachers on game days. So you come to school in your suit and everything, and all the teachers you were the talk of the town that day. So all the teachers want to know, who you're playing, when, where, all this other thing. Are we gonna win? All those other stuff. So yeah, it was definitely seeing all the teachers come together whenever we played. I think that was probably one of the most cool things that a high school player can ask for, I guess.
Now I know because I'm a grad of Belleville. Every year with their vets, when they've been able to, the graduating players on their male and female teams, they would go up against the teachers in a final game. Were you able to do that in your grade 12 year, or have any?
No, we didn't. What we did was we mixed the girls and the guys team, and we mixed those teams, and we had a fun little scrimmage at the end. But no, we didn't get a chance to go up against the teams. I think that would have been a lot of fun though.
Yeah, for sure. It's still awesome you guys got to do something like that, though, which is pretty cool. Just mix and match like that. I guess, ending off with the high school talk, your favorite PG high school hockey memory, not talking about rookie parties or anything like that.
Yeah, it was grade 11 playoffs. I think this is probably still is my favorite hockey memory. It was grade 11 playoffs. I think maybe we dressed like because of injuries. It's like 6 or 7 guys we had playing. It was a best of 3 series, and we ended up sweeping one of our rival teams with like 3 seconds left in the third period to break the tie. The memory I have of, you know, the 5 of us on the ice and then like the 3 more on the bench for the flyby, I think, you know, knowing we pulled it off and the excitement the team had, I think that still is my favorite high school memory or hockey memory, I guess.
That's just insane. Just going out and playing a hockey game at any level, just with that amount of guys, especially in a playoff game. That's nuts. That you guys were able to pull it off as well. It was amazing. And probably why it is like your favorite high school hockey memory. What team were you guys going up against?
It was CJS.
CJS. All right, yeah. So Glenlawn beating CJS, always a good time for that school, and that happens, being a rivalry like that. Well, you know, Dorian, it was awesome getting to know you tonight, man. Just getting to know what type of hockey player you are, what you bring to the Vics, and just getting to talk about your career with them, as well as your time playing high school hockey for the Glenlawn Lions as well. Thanks a lot for joining me, man. You know, if something comes up in the season or before the season, maybe we can have you back on the show again in the future. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I'd be more than happy to come back on. I had a lot of fun.
Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on AETi Productions. Dorian, Wasacase, number 15 of the St. Vital Victorias in the MMJHL, joined me in today's episode. I want to thank Dorian for coming on and being the guest in this episode. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in this morning. I'd also like to thank the official sponsors of Coffee with Graeme in Fabricland, Winkler, and Evolve Green for sponsoring another edition of the show, as well as special thanks to our other sponsors in today's episode in AETi and TOVI Hockey. As for Coffee with Graeme, when we'll be back next, we'll be back on Thursday, coming up in 2 days at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. You can catch that edition of Coffee with Graeme on our Facebook at AETi Productions or on our website at AETiProductions.com. And also some other news. This has nothing to do with any of my shows, Rise and Shine Manitoba, Coffee with Graeme, of course, this one, and the Prospect Show. We're doing a special here on AETi Productions at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and whatever time zone you're in. You'll be able to watch it that day. But yeah, the main time, for me, of course, is 6 because that is my time zone, Central Daylight Time. We're going to be doing a Seattle Kraken expansion mock draft. Now, I did one on Rise and Shine Manitoba yesterday. It wasn't a bad team, but with the draft happening on Wednesday night, I thought, why not take another crack at it and give you guys a mock draft 2.0, the final mock draft that I'm going to be given for the Seattle Kraken expansion draft. I'll be joined by host of the AAA show here on AETi Productions, Jared Down. He'll be joining me. We'll be giving our picks, going through the teams alphabetically. So Anaheim starting off all the way up until the end, which the last team is Winnipeg. And we'll be picking one player from each team, staying under that salary cap. And it should be pretty interesting to see which players me and Jared end up picking in our expansion mock drafts. But that's coming up. AETi Productions Seattle Kraken expansion mock draft special, like I said, on Wednesday in the evening, 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. For a reminder, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time are the main time zones that I think that we covered here. But until Thursday, folks. I've been your host of Coffee with Graeme Forsyth, signing off now until I see you Thursday. Have a good one. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe out there and enjoy the weather as well if you're able to get out, because it is pretty nice out, I do gotta say. But yeah, that's all from me, folks. Peace out. Have a good one.